We have here x squared plus 25 equals to 0. So remember from the instructions, it says we want to isolate the expression containing the square term, meaning we want this x squared to be by itself on one side. So to isolate the square term, we're going to subtract 25 to both sides. And we have x squared is equal to negative 25. Then we're going to use the square root property by taking the square root to both sides. Left hand side, the exponent of 2 and the square root cancels out, and we have x is equal to. The square root property says we're going to have two solutions, a positive solution and a negative solution. Look at the square root of negative 25. We all remember this. What happens when there's a negative number under the radical? We're taking out the negative 1 factor. Take the square root of negative 1, which is I. Take the square root of 25, which is 5. Multiply those together, we have 5i. And that is all we can do. We have our two solutions. This happens to be a complex number. There we go, positive and a negative. Next example, the quantity of 6x minus 1 squared is equal to negative 25. The square term is by itself on one side. That's what we want. We're going to use the square root property by taking the square root to both sides. The exponent of 2 on the left hand side and the square root cancels out. We have 6x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus. Remember, using the square root property, we have two solutions. Well, we know what the square root of negative 25 is equal to now, because we did in the previous example. It's 5i. Okay, let's solve for x here. So add 1 to both sides. We have 6x is equal to 1 plus or minus 5i. Then we're going to divide by 6. And then we have x is equal to 1 plus or minus 5i over 6. And that is all we can do. There is no reducing. We are finished with that, so we are done.